Thanks so much for tuning back in. We are live here at the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center for GoLocal Prov with our third and final guest, Ameth. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you are from Hydroponics in Central Falls, and I think it is such a really cool, intriguing, fascinating cafe. Unlike anything I've seen in Rhode Island.
Thanks.
Yes. So before we get started talking about what you've got growing over at the cafe, I'd love to hear about yourself and your background and what kind of experiences have brought you to open Hydroponics.
Okay, well, my name is Ameth, and I am a builder by trade. Wow. And I've been involved in many businesses for many years. A few years ago, we had a cafe called Jack's Forward Fresh Eatery,
cool.
Which was kind of based on the same concept that we have now. Back then, we started with kind of like a healthy, forward-thinking type of approach, keeping the fat and the carbs as to a controlled minimum.
Definitely.
And it worked out really good. And unfortunately, I took ill back then in 2008. I came very close to death from an appendix.
My goodness.
And
that
whole
serious.
business and a whole bunch of other stuff came coming down. And during that time, I had talked with Brown University, and we had started a project on hydroponics.
Really?
And to make a very long story short, we continued with that process and developed what we have today, our hydroponics facility, and called Hydroponic. And the Hydroponic came as a result of other technologies. Our main business is actually sustainable technology. We do a lot of projects in different countries gearing towards the society and the environmental benefit, but with a for-profit aspect. We're an inclusive company. So our technologies that we developed created and gave us the opportunity to bring forth Hydroponic. And basically we're growing our own food.
Which is incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Yes, and the beauty of that is that not only are we aiming towards chemical-free products, it's locally grown. We're reducing carbon emissions by 94%. The average tomato travels about 1,400 to 1,600 miles.
Oh my goodness.
And it has to come from long distances, force ripened. They add all types of preservatives, refrigeration, the handling, the packaging. All those things add carbon emissions into the environment. Absolutely. Our model is we grow it right near where the customers are going to consume it. So we want to be able to provide not only within our restaurant, but for other restaurants, other consumers, a product that's within a short radius that will allow short distances, eliminate packaging, eliminate all those chemicals, and what you harvest today, you deliver today. So you're getting the freshest possible produce. No market, no one can actually offer that unless you're growing the product yourself, either on ground or the way we're growing it.
Now, PUNC, P-U-N-C, what does it stand for?
PUNC stands for either produce or people using no chemicals.
I love that. So that kind of goes perfectly hand in hand with everything that you are representing as Hydroponic.
Correct.
Awesome. So when you step into Hydroponic in Central Falls, it looks like you're, a great cafe to enjoy, a cup of coffee, smoothie, and a salad in. But then you look to your left and you see these grand windows, and behind, on the other side of those windows are a indoor garden, and it is just incredible to see that happening. You're watching, somebody harvesting some lettuce in there, and then that's coming into the other room and being put into a salad. So it's really, we've all heard of farm to table in Rhode Island, where Rhode Island is really big on that as keeping things local, but this is a step further. This is the restaurant growing their own food, which is really, really amazing.
And the cool thing is that you're seeing your product where it comes from.
Yes.
If you go to any restaurant, any restaurant, it's very hard for them to tell you where certain products came from. The traceability is important. Today, a while back we had that scare with salmonella in the lettuce. We don't have that problem.
No.
Bugs are practically eliminated, or it's eliminated. We know exactly when the plant was germinated, when it was harvested, how it was harvested. So you have a certain sense of tranquility knowing your food is as fresh it can possibly be, and it comes from a reliable source.
Absolutely. So you have complete control over the whole process.
Correct.
Yeah. So from seed to...
But we call it from seed to cup or from seed to mouth.
From seed to mouth, you can watch your produce for your salad, for your sandwich, for your smoothie, everything, the whole process is right on the other side of the glass.
Indeed.
Really cool. So what are we working with? How many plants? Like how does this work? Or how many people have to tend to it? How often?
The facility is twofold. It's a restaurant and it's a lab.
Yes.
We call it a lab because it's set up like a lab. You can't go in there. You have to wear a coat. There's a wind barrier to make sure you don't bring in dust or bugs or any of those things.
It's a controlled environment.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we have it's 24/7. It's always monitored. Everyone that works in there is properly trained. So anyone that actually works in the restaurant actually gets trained in a hydroponics first. So they understand where the food and how it comes to be on the grill, to be on the customer's plates. The facility actually is about it's about 800 square feet. We're actually growing. We can grow up to 42,000 plants in 800 square feet.
What? How? I mean, I assume you have to go up.
Yeah, so it's a vertical setup, and in 300 square feet, we like to use this formula. It's 300 square feet for every 5,000 plants.
Wow.
And you need almost an acre in some instances to grow that many plants that we can do in 300 square feet.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool advance. We're not the first ones to come up with hydroponics. Hydroponics has been used for thousands of years. I think the Egyptians are the ones that actually came across it and made it popular. But over the past few years, everyone's looking for new and improved ways, sustainable ways to produce food for the masses. Right now, the amount of people on this planet, we actually do not have the capacity to fully feed ourselves. I mean,
the direction that we're going.
Well, the direction that we're in.
Yeah.
The direction that we're going. I mean, we're looking at the population by 2040 is going to practically double. Where's this food going to come from? There's a lot of land that's completely contaminated. Some land that's associated with farming, it's so overfarmed that it doesn't really produce anything. That's why
nutrients in the soil.
it's
not
just
there.
it's not there. It's overused. So with hydroponics, it's not the only solution, but it is a major component. It's something that it's a definite, at least portion of, you can live off lettuce, you can live, but you need other stuff.
Yes.
But at least for that portion of your dietary needs, you can get it from hydroponics.
That is incredible. That is really, really, really cool. So that is just one portion of what makes hydroponics and hydropunk so great. So tell me about what you're serving in the cafe, what we can find on the menu.
So the menu's kind of cool. I mean, we have not just salads, as you can see here. We have smoothies. We have some cool smoothies that we incorporate. The kale, the cilantros, the mints, everything that we grow in-house. It all comes into a smoothie, highly nutritious.
Definitely.
We have really cool salads, burritos and wraps and,
you guys have
and sandwiches.
big menu,
quesadillas,
you have a whole lot.
a lot of stuff. We bake our own pastry. We have this young girl. She's an amazing baker. And all the pastry is baked.
Lots of things growing.
is baked in house. So it's really cool. And one of the things that we try to do is always look what people like the best. We try to accommodate what the trend is, what people are really looking for, and present to them alternatives to some of those things. Some people want something that's not necessarily so healthy, and we say, look, we have here an alternative that's healthier and it tastes really good, but it's not exactly what you're looking for, but it could actually make you happier. And sometimes, most of the times, people are like, oh my God, they're looking for that fatty, that greasy stuff, and you give them something that's not fatty or greasy.
But it still tastes really
good.
But
it still, exactly.
And then you feel good after eating.
Your conscience doesn't get affected.
Absolutely. Your body definitely responds to that, especially when you're craving something salty, something fatty, and then you have something good. Your body is not reacting to that, yucky buildup of chemicals.
It doesn't sit heavy. Sometimes you go have lunch somewhere and it's 3 hours later you're still feeling it. It's quickly digested and it just gives you that boost of energy that you need.
Definitely, that's really, really huge. We're all health forward. I think especially 2019, fitness and healthy lifestyles, wellness, well-being. I think that it's bigger than it ever has been, in my opinion, and it's continuing to grow. So I think that people are really trying to take initiative on that health forward lifestyle.
Yeah, no question. I mean, when we first started with our old restaurant, we were pretty much the pioneers in the state back then. No one was really pointing towards health.
Right.
Or, quick and healthy. When you thought of fast food, you thought of McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken and all these kinds of things. Nobody thought that something healthy could actually be fast.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we're trying to go for, making people aware that there are alternatives to the McDonald's of the world.
Definitely. Definitely. Awesome. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
It's called a caprese.
A caprese.
Yes,
Sounds
it's a
really
caprese
good.
sandwich. It's basically a panini, and we make our own sauce, our own pesto, and it's
Ooh.
pesto infused
sounds so good.
with very, very crispy bacon. I love the bacon.
Oh my gosh.
We try to use the healthiest bacon we can get without all the preservatives and all that, and adds good flavor. Banana peppers,
Ooh.
cilantro, scallions.
All that good stuff, and you're throwing so much of it right in
And
the space.
that's my favorite. My second favorite is definitely the burrito. I mean, it's just so huge.
I've had the burrito there too,
It's
and it's
huge.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, super
Yeah,
good.
one guy came last Saturday, as a matter of fact. He's literally. I says it's going to be a little bit of overweight. He says I'll wait 2 days if I have
I
to.
need that burrito. I need it right
Yeah.
now. That is too cool.
Yeah, it kind of boosts your ego up a little bit,
Yeah.
and it keeps you motivated that at least you're making some people happy.
Absolutely. And you guys are pretty big on the coffee. Last time I was in, you had some really cool stuff going on with coffee.
Well, coffee is, I'm Colombian, so, I may be a little biased, but our coffee comes directly from our farmers because of the nature of our business. Like I said, we're a sustainable technology
Yes.
company. We deal with a lot of social programs. One of those programs is we have actual farmers, coffee farmers as our partners.
Wow.
So there's no middleman. So literally the coffee that you get at our restaurant came from our partner farm directly to you.
Wow.
There's no middleman. So
You can't find that in a lot of places.
not too many
No.
places. And the beauty of it is that the way the coffee is scored, anything above 80 points is considered a specialty coffee. Like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee never gets there. Starbucks never gets to that high.
Wow, really?
They claim they do, but it
Yeah.
really doesn't. And not to badmouth anybody,
Right.
but
when you have something that's a really great product, you definitely need to compare it somehow.
yeah, and our coffee, we won't sell or ship anything that's less than 84 points.
Wow.
So
So
when
you guys
you,
are having high quality,
high quality
grade
coffee, really good price, and it's just it's amazing. I mean, we have coffees that have chocolatey characteristics, fruity characteristics, honey characteristics. When you have a coffee, you can smell
Yes.
it, wakes you up. Just the smell gets
Right.
you happy.
Yes. Now, how do you take your coffee?
Black.
Black, just the way it is.
Black. I mean, adding, especially to this coffee, if you add
You don't
sugar
even
to
need
it,
to have it.
it's sinful. The coffee
Yeah.
gods, they're going to look down on you, and then
Like,
next
how
time you
dare
have
you
coffee,
taint it.
it's going to be bad. So
you're
they're better
so
off
right.
to stay in their good graces and keep drinking our coffee.
I don't blame you. Next time I come in, I'll have it black.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you
today.
very much for having me.
Where can we find you online, on the internet?
So we're on Instagram and Facebook as Hydropunk.
Okay.
And we have a website, which is hydropunk.com, and you
Great.
can order online. And
Oh, cool.
recently we added Grubhub to the mix.
Perfect. So they can
So
bring it
they'll
right
be able
here.
to go online probably next week into our website and order directly through Grubhub anywhere in the state.
That is awesome. Really, really cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing all of your insight and your experiences on sustainable food and produce.
Thank you very
Really,
much.
really awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We